So I am Juggleguy, that's my gamer tag, or Robin Harn, and been playing Smash for about 6 years now, I think it would be, and part of the Melee on Me crew, visiting Canada right now. It's pretty fun. Canada's good. This is the 4th time I've been in Toronto, actually. Every time I come to Canada for Smash, it's Toronto, I guess. It's pretty much the hot spot of Canada Smash, and I mean, Toronto Smash is so good. It's always really fun to play them, and I'm one of those people who kind of get tired of playing like the local scene every time, and I know a lot of people have really never traveled out of state, and I don't really understand how they can do that, so I just like to get out, and Toronto's like one of the top destinations for sure. Honestly, it sounds like I'm kind of throwing the Midwest under the bus, but I feel like people here are a lot more creative, and that just might be me not playing Toronto as often, obviously, but I'm really surprised by a lot of the decisions and the mix-ups that happen here, and so I would say, like, people are really creative here with their move kind of decision-making, their move choices, and something I definitely want to pick up and take back with me every time I attend a tournament here. I think it's been the best year of all time in Melee, and there's going to be people who say 2007 was better. If you just look at the numbers, I think 2007 had 14 tournaments of 100 entrants. That's pretty ridiculous. They also had 5 tournaments of 200 entrants. So 2013 actually can't match those numbers aside from EVO. So EVO is kind of the wild card. It's the biggest tournament of all time. It doubled the previous record. So that's really exciting to see. And I think 2014 actually is going to be easily the best year, like on top of 2013. So I feel like just already looking at the lineup and the MLG hype, I'm pretty confident that 2014 will be the best year in the history of Melee, and it's so exciting, right? Because you have people who say, you know, I wish I joined the scene during the golden era of Melee, and then now we can say, you know what, you actually are in kind of a second golden era of Melee. So it's just awesome to be able to say that and see the numbers grow with EVO and the Smash documentary. It's just been an awesome year. Biggest moment? I think people will disagree with me here, but I really think the Nintendo Stream crisis being resolved is by far the biggest moment. I don't think it's EVO getting in, I don't think it's the Spirit Bomb. I mean, I'm part of Made It On Me, and I still don't think the Spirit Bomb was the biggest moment. Obviously, we needed that to get into EVO, but the thing with the Nintendo Stream crisis is so many people donated to Melee at EVO, not because they're attending, but because they want other people to be watching. I think one of the best quotes from Wife in the Smash documentary was, he didn't care so much as to who won tournaments like EVO, nearly as much as he cared that other people were watching. That's such a huge thing for the Smash community, because we don't get as much exposure as a League of Legends or, you know, StarCraft, those other games whose developers actually support their game, unlike Nintendo. So it's really nice when an organization like EVO picks us up, and someone like MLG decides to join the party, and something like the Smash documentary comes out that really just brings other people on board. So they realize, you know, how big Smash still is. Yeah, so the SSBM Rank project, as it's called, was it was a project by Tafokins, who worked on it and posted it on the Melee On Me site, and I'm really surprised as to how big it got. Like, initially I was kind of skeptical because it was kind of a controversial thing, but it has been a while since a nationwide ranking was done, and honestly, looking at the top 30, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Like, 30 through 100 is really, really sporadic. I think anybody can really beat anyone in that group, because people are so good these days, and there's really a lot of parity in the Melee competitive scene. But the top 30, I would really say it's pretty accurate. I look back at the votes that I put in, because I was one of the panelists out of, I think there were like 40 panelists, and I compared it to the final top 30, and it was pretty close. The top 5, what is it, PP was 4th, Mewtwo was, Hungrybox was 5th. I don't even know my own list. Hungrybox 5th, PP 4th, Mewtwo 3rd, Armada 2nd, and Mango 1st. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like, though, in the project definition, we said this was a before Big House 3 ranking, right? So I feel like Mewtwo should be 5th in the pre-Big House 3 ranking. Obviously, he's done so much since then to really justify his eventual 3rd. but that's just my thought on it. I don't really have a big problem with the final ranking. I think the thing is, any one of those 5 in 5th place, if you put a number 5 next to their name, it looks pretty weird because we kind of regard them as top players. So anybody coming in 5th would spark a debate for sure. It's not just Hungrybox. Players to look out for. A lot of people don't know about the Michigan scene because we don't travel as much as I would kind of want us to travel, but there's a couple rising players. Everyone knows about Duck, I think. That's the exception because he's been out of state. He went to Kings of Cali. KJH is a rising star, I feel like. He plays Fox and Falco, and he's putting in some work, so shout outs to him. I think I'm teaming with him for Apex coming up, so that'll be fun. So those just 2 shout outs to people who may not get as much exposure as some of the other like big Smash markets. I'm not. Sometimes it may come off as I'm throwing Brawl under the bus, but I think without Brawl, Melee would not be as strong at all. And I know Brawl has a tentative spot at MLG. I think Solid Jake has said himself that, you know, as long as Brawl does its job, they get some qualifiers going, the TO step up, then it will be a featured game at MLG. So I don't know about what Brawl is going to do when Smash 4 comes out. I think for Melee, a lot of the people are going to stick with Melee. It seems like from word on the street is Brawl players are, you know, they play the new game, so a lot of them are going to move on to Smash 4. But if they make the most of the last few months before Smash 4, then I mean, any community can be as successful as Melee has been in the past year. I think it's a model year for the Melee community, but other games can definitely do that as well. It's not just a grassroots effort. They can expand and they can get more exposure. But a lot of people have to step up. Like Samok stepped up with the Smash documentary. That was something that he worked on for a couple years, and that has done wonders for the scene. More than people know, I think. And the effects of that are going to be seen throughout the next year, not just now. And it's just a matter of community leaders stepping up, and I think having a good attitude about it really helps too. Tournament hosting, I feel like that's one of the things that there's really no good guide to it. It's something you can't really just learn on paper. It's just something you have to go out and do by yourself. And the first tournaments you host, for any aspiring TOs out there, I feel like the first tournaments might be rough. You might get, you know, only 10 people, a small turnout. You know, things with the venue might go wrong. People don't show up on time. I think it's all about establishing a culture of, like, you're kind of the person in charge. And one thing that the Crimson Blurb out on West Coast told me is the more people like you, the better TO you'll be. And that's such a simple statement, but I feel like it's so true. If people recognize you as that authority and you build a good culture, and you know your audience, you know that, okay, this person needs to be reminded that you know, the tournament starts on time and we're not screwing around, then I feel like it makes it a lot easier on yourself in the future. And just surrounding yourself with a good TO staff too, because I don't care who you are, you could be the best TO in the world, but if you're doing it by yourself, you're just kind of on an island.